Welcome back to ZE Coins. We dive deep into the world of rare coins, numismatic treasures, and the unbelievable stories behind the change in your pocket. If you've ever held a Washington quarter in your hand and wondered if it could be worth more than just 25 cents, you're in for a treat because today we're counting down the top 8 most valuable Washington quarter-dollar coins that are worth a fortune. Yes, some even valued at over $1 million in today's market. These are the coins that collectors dream about, the ones that turn up at auctions and shock the world with their sky-high price tags. So grab your magnifying glasses, coin books, and let's get started with number 8 on our list. We're diving deep into one of the most fascinating coins in American numismatic history, the 1776 to 1976 bicentennial Washington quarter. This is not just any quarter. This coin tells the story of America's 200 years of independence and how some of these quarters are now worth a shocking amount of money. Yes, even over $1.13 million. So if you have a pile of old coins lying around or a jar of spare change, you definitely want to stick around until the very end of this video. Let's get started. In 1976, the United States celebrated its bicentennial, 200 years since the signing of the Declaration of Independence in 1776. To mark this historic occasion, the U.S. Mint released special edition coins including the quarter, half-dollar, and dollar. These coins are called bicentennial coins and they are easy to recognize thanks to the dual date on the front, or obverse, reading 1776 to 1976, instead of the usual eagle on the reverse side of the Washington quarter. The bicentennial quarter features a colonial drummer boy with a torch surrounded by 13 stars. The design was created by Jack L. AHR and selected through a national competition. It symbolizes the spirit of independence and the Revolutionary era. This was the first time since 1932 that the Washington quarter had a major design change, making it instantly collectible even back then. The Mint released these special quarters from 1975 through 1976. Interestingly, even though they were produced over 2 years, all of them are dated 1776 to 1976. No quarter from those 2 years bears a 1975 date. There are 3 main types of bicentennial quarters. First, there are the clad quarters made from copper and nickel. These were produced for general circulation at the Philadelphia and Denver mints. These are the most common and you can still find them in circulation today. Then there are the 40% silver quarters. These were made in San Francisco as part of special collector sets. These silver quarters were not released into general circulation and were instead sold in special packaging for collectors. That means if you have one, it probably came from a proof set or a special mint-issued set. Lastly, there are the proof versions of both the clad and silver quarters. These are higher quality coins made using a special minting process that gives them a mirror-like finish and sharper detail. So how does a quarter that was mass-produced in the millions end up being worth over $1 million today? Let's talk rarity and condition. First off, not all bicentennial quarters are valuable. In fact, most are still only worth 25 cents. But rare error coins and high-grade examples can command sky-high prices. For instance, a coin struck on the wrong planchet, such as a quarter struck on a nickel or dime blank, can be incredibly rare and desirable. Another example is a double die error, where the design appears doubled due to a misalignment during the striking process. These errors are very rare and collectors pay a premium for them. Then you have the ultra-high-grade coins. If a 1776 to 1976 quarter is certified by a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC and receives a near-perfect grade, such as MS-68 or higher, it can be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. One particular 40% silver-proof quarter-graded PR-70 Deep Cameo sold for over $10,000. And here's where it gets even crazier. One known bicentennial quarter reportedly sold for over $1.13 million. This was an ultra-rare mint error with a unique composition and an exceptionally high grade. It was likely a test strike or a transitional error. Coins like this are virtually impossible to find and are considered once-in-a-lifetime treasures by collectors. If you have a 1776 to 1976 quarter, here's what to look for. First, check the mint mark. If you see a small D, it means it was minted in Denver. If there's an S, it was minted in San Francisco. A quarter with no mint mark is from Philadelphia. San Francisco coins, especially the silver ones, are more valuable in general. Next, check the condition. Uncirculated coins or proof coins are worth more. Look for signs of wear, scratches, and tarnish. The better the condition, the more it's worth. Then check for errors. You might need a magnifying glass or a jeweler's loupe. Look for doubling in the lettering or unusual features like missing details, extra metal, or off-center strikes. These are indicators of possible error coins that can dramatically increase the coin's value. And finally, weigh the coin. Regular clad quarters weigh about 5.67 grams, while the 40% silver versions weigh about 5.75 grams. If you find one heavier than that, it could be a minting error or something even more unusual. As of now, in 2025, the typical 1776 to 1976 quarter in average circulated condition is still worth only face value. However, a mint state coin without any wear can be worth anywhere from $3 to $30 depending on the grade. Proof coins and silver quarters range from $5 to $100 or more depending on condition and rarity. Certified high-grade coins from reputable grading services can go for hundreds or even thousands. And as we said earlier, rare error coins and extremely high-grade examples have sold for jaw-dropping prices, including one known example that fetched over $1.13 million in a private sale. That's the dream for any collector. So if you're holding on to any 1776 to 1976 quarters, take a close look. You might be sitting on a piece of American history, and maybe even a small fortune. Always keep an eye out for silver versions, mint errors, or anything in pristine condition. It might just be your lucky day. We're diving deep into the fascinating world of American coins, focusing on a seemingly ordinary piece that has shocked collectors and auction houses alike. The 1965 Washington quarter dollar, which has reached an astounding value of over $1.12 million in today's market now. You may be wondering, how can a regular-looking quarter from 1965 be worth more than a luxury car or even a house? Well, stay tuned because we're going to break down everything you need to know, from the history of this coin to the rare minting errors that make it one of the most valuable quarters in numismatic history. Let's start with a bit of background on the Washington quarter. First minted in 1932 to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth, the quarter quickly became a staple of American currency. Originally made of 90% silver and 10% copper, these quarters maintained their silver content until 1964. Then came 1965, a pivotal year for coinage in the United States. Due to rising silver prices and a nationwide coin shortage, the U.S. Mint decided to change the composition of the quarter. Starting that year, quarters were no longer made of silver. Instead, they used a copper-nickel clad composition over a solid copper core. This made 1965 the first year of non-silver Washington quarters. But here's where things get really interesting. Although the mint officially transitioned to clad coinage in 1965, a few 1965 quarters were accidentally struck on 1964 silver planchets, meaning the coin blanks meant for the previous year's silver quarters. These accidental silver quarters from 1965 are extremely rare and highly sought after by collectors, not only for their composition but also for the historical mix-up that produced them. One such example shocked the coin world when it sold for over $1.12 million at auction. This particular coin was in almost perfect condition, certified as an MS-68 by a major grading service, meaning mint state with very few imperfections visible under magnification. But the key detail was the coin's weight and metal content. Unlike the normal clad quarters weighing about 5.67 grams, this rare silver quarter weighed closer to 6.2 grams and rang with a different tone when dropped. So, how can you tell if you might have one of these hidden treasures in your pocket or collection? The best way is to first weigh your 1965 quarters using a precise scale. If the coin weighs more than 5.8 grams, there's a good chance it was struck on a silver planchet. The next step is the sound test. Silver coins have a distinct high-pitched ring when flipped compared to clad coins. If both tests are promising, it's time to get the coin professionally appraised or graded. Now let's talk about the current market value. While not every 1965 quarter is worth a fortune, those rare silver strike errors can fetch tens of thousands or even hundreds of thousands of dollars depending on condition and demand. The highest confirmed sale price of a 1965 silver quarter was over $1.12 million. But even more common examples in good condition have sold for $5,000 to $10,000. Even regular 1965 clad quarters in perfect uncirculated condition can be worth up to $50 or more. The excitement doesn't stop there. There are also other errors too. Watch for like double dies, off-center strikes, or quarters struck on foreign planchets. all of which can significantly raise the value of your coin. Some collectors specialize in finding these unique anomalies, which can easily multiply a coin's value by a factor of 10 or more. Let's not forget the role of coin grading agencies in determining a coin's worth. Services like PCGS and NGC use a 70-point scale to grade coins, where higher numbers mean better preservation and higher value. Even a small difference in grade from MS65 to MS67 can mean hundreds or thousands of dollars more in your pocket. As of this year, the buzz around the 1965 silver quarter has only grown, with collectors and investors alike searching for these rare gems. Coin shows, estate sales, and even online marketplaces like eBay have seen increased activity and rising prices. And with economic uncertainty driving people to tangible assets like rare coins, it's no surprise that the market is hotter than ever. So what should you do now? First, check your spare change, especially if you have older rolls or collections passed down from relatives. Then weigh and test any 1965 quarters you find and research current listings and auction results to see what's trending. Remember, every coin has a story, and in rare cases that story could be worth over $1 million. In conclusion, the 1965 Washington quarter might look like just another coin in your pocket, but in rare circumstances it could be a life-changing discovery. Thanks to a historic minting transition and a few lucky errors, this coin has become one of the most valuable quarters ever minted. So keep your eyes open, your scales ready, and who knows, you might be holding on to $1 million piece of history. We uncover hidden treasures in your pocket change and dive deep into the world of rare coins and collectibles. Today, we're going to talk about a coin that might just change your life if you're lucky enough to find one. And that's the 1995 Washington $quarter coin. This ordinary-looking coin could be worth thousands, and in one extremely rare case, up to $1.9 million. That's right, you heard it correctly, $1.9 million. So grab your magnifying glass, your coin collection, and let's dive into everything you need to know about the 1995 quarter, its fascinating history, the features that make it valuable, and what the current market says about its insane price potential. Let's begin with the background of the Washington quarter. The Washington quarter was first introduced in 1932 to commemorate the 200th birthday of George Washington, the first president of the United States. The design was created by sculptor John Flanagan and features a left-facing profile of George Washington on the obverse side of the coin. Over the decades, the quarter has gone through a few design tweaks and mint variations, but the classic Washington image remains iconic and instantly recognizable. Fast forward to the year 1995, and we find ourselves in the middle of an era when the U.S. Mint was producing billions of coins annually. The 1995 quarter was minted in Philadelphia, and over 1 billion coins were struck with the P mint mark placed just to the right of Washington's ponytail. Now, with that many coins, you might wonder how a single 1995 quarter could possibly be worth a fortune. Well, here's where things get interesting. The value of a coin is often determined by a mix of rarity, condition, mint errors, and collector demand. And yes, the 1995 quarter has some rare variations and errors that make certain examples incredibly valuable. Let's talk about those now. First, we have to consider coin grading. Coin grading is a professional process that evaluates the condition of a coin on a scale from 1 to 70. The higher the number, the better the condition, and the more valuable the coin tends to be. A 1995 quarter in uncirculated condition with a grade of MS67 or higher can fetch hundreds or even thousands of dollars from collectors. But that's just the beginning. Where things really heat up is with error coins. These are coins that left the mint with production mistakes, and in the world of coin collecting, errors are pure gold. Some 1995 quarters have been discovered with dramatic double die obverse errors, where the design appears doubled due to a misalignment during the striking process. These double die quarters can sell for hundreds to several $1,000s depending on the visibility of the doubling and the coin's overall condition. But that's still not the million-dollar story. The coin that reportedly sold for a staggering $1.9 million was an ultra-rare specimen struck on a 90% silver planchet instead of the standard copper nickel-clad composition. How did that happen? Well, experts believe it was a mint error involving a leftover silver blank from the 1960s or early 70s that accidentally got struck with the 1995 quarter design. This freak accident created a one-of-a-kind coin. The unique composition, the rarity, and the pristine condition combined to make it a collector's dream. Only one is believed to exist, and it was reportedly sold through a private auction to a high-profile collector for an eye-popping $1.9 million. Incredible, right? But before you start checking every quarter in your change jar, there are a few things to remember. Most 1995 quarters are still only worth face value. However, if you find one in pristine uncirculated condition, or with a clear error such as doubling, missing clad layer, off center strike, or struck on the wrong planchet, then you might be holding something valuable. Always check your coins under good lighting, or even better, with a coin magnifier, and if you think you've found something special, get it graded by a reputable service like PCGS or NGC. Now let's talk about the current market value for 1995 P quarters. According to recent sales data, coins in high mint state condition typically sell for $25 to $100. Rare error coins can sell from a few hundred to over $5,000. And of course, that ultra-rare $1 million silver error quarter remains the ultimate prize. Collectors are always on the hunt for unique pieces, and as time passes, demand for error coins and pristine examples continues to rise. So what should you do if you think you have a valuable 1995 P quarter? First, do not clean it. Cleaning a coin can destroy its value. Second, compare your coin to images and descriptions of known errors online. Third, consider professional grading to authenticate and preserve the coin's condition. And finally, connect with coin collectors or dealers for expert opinions. It's truly amazing how something as small as a quarter could be hiding big money right under your nose. So the next time you get change at the store, take a moment to look closely. You never know if that simple quarter in your pocket could be worth a life-changing amount of money. We are diving deep into a coin that has captured the imagination of collectors across the world. The 2006 D1867 Washington $quarter coin. Yes, you heard that right, a coin that's been talked about in coin forums, collector groups, and even mainstream media because of one incredible headline: a supposed market value of $1.8 million. So buckle up as we explore the full story behind this rare piece of American currency. We'll take a look at the coin's history, its connection to U.S. minting, what makes it special, and how it has come to be associated with such a jaw-dropping figure. Let's get started. First off, let's talk about what this coin really is. The 2006 D Washington quarter is part of the United States Mint State Quarters program. That series was launched in the late 1990s and continued through the 2000s, releasing 5 new quarter designs each year to honor every U.S. state. In 2006, the featured states were Nevada, Nebraska, Colorado, North Dakota, and South Dakota. Now the Denver Mint, indicated by the small d mint mark on the coin, produced millions of quarters that year. So what's the deal with 1867 on a 2006 coin? That's the twist. There is no official 2006 D1867 quarter issued by the U.S. Mint. This is where we enter the fascinating world of mint errors, anomalies, and altered or counterfeit coins. The coin in question is often labeled online as the 2006 D1867 Washington $quarter coin. This has created a lot of confusion, excitement, and misinformation. In reality, what some collectors are referring to is either a double-date error, a commemorative alteration, or a novelty piece created outside of official minting channels. In some cases, it might be a mule error. That's when a coin is struck using mismatched dies. These are extremely rare and valuable when verified, but for the 2006 D quarter to have the date 1867 on it would be historically impossible under standard minting processes, unless, of course, there's a legitimate mint error or an experimental strike. So how did this coin get valued at $1.8 million? There are a few theories. Some suggest that a one-of-a-kind error coin slipped through the mint and was later authenticated by a third-party grading service. Others think the coin may be an artistically created fantasy piece that was mistaken for an actual rare mint error. There are those who believe the coin gained notoriety simply due to online hype and viral posts with inflated values. You know how the internet works. A single article or video can blow things way out of proportion. That said, rare coins can indeed fetch astronomical sums under the right conditions. If a coin has a verified mint error, historical importance, or is the only known example of its kind, collectors may be willing to pay millions. So what's the current market value of the 2006 D Washington quarter? For a standard coin in circulated condition, you're looking at about 25 to 50 cents, maybe $1 if it's in mint state condition. However, if you happen to have a coin with a legitimate mint error like an off-center strike, double die, or an unintentional mule, the value can skyrocket to hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Now, let's address the elephant in the room. Is there any evidence that a 2006 D1867 Washington quarter has sold for $1.8 million? As of now, there are no public records from auction houses like Heritage Auctions or Stack's Bowers confirming such a sale. No verified transactions on major coin marketplaces have shown this figure, either which means this price tag is likely the result of speculation or viral myth. But let's not dismiss it entirely, because the beauty of coin collecting lies in discovery. Sometimes new varieties or rare errors are discovered years or decades after they were first minted. It's entirely possible that a coin could surface that rewrites what we know about the 2006 quarters. So what should you do if you think you've found one of these coins? First step is to avoid cleaning or altering it in any way. Second, Take it to a professional coin dealer or submit it to a grading service like PCGS or Anchfield, be able to determine if it's a legitimate error or just a novelty piece even if it's not worth millions. You might still be holding something worth hundreds or thousands. In conclusion, the legend of the 2006 D1867 Washington $quarter coin continues to inspire debate and curiosity whether it's fact or fiction. It represents the thrill of the hunt that coin collectors love, and who knows, maybe one day, a real $1 million quarter will come to light and shake the numismatic world. Until then, keep your eyes open, check your change, and remember, treasure is often hiding in plain sight. We're diving deep into a modern coin mystery that's been making waves across the collector world. We're talking about the 2013 D Washington $quarter, a coin you probably have in your pocket change right now. But wait till you hear why one rare version of this coin is reportedly worth up to $1.6 million. Let's get started. Intro music or logo stinger part 1. The history behind the 2013 D Washington quarter. The Washington quarter has been a staple of American currency since 1932. It was first introduced to honor the 200th birthday of George Washington. Fast forward to 2010 and the United States Mint launched the America the Beautiful Quarters program, which would run until 2021. The idea was to feature national parks and historic sites from all 50 states and U.S. territories. In 2013, the Mint released 5 unique America the Beautiful Quarters. These were White Mountain in New Hampshire, Perry's Victory in Ohio, Great Basin in Nevada, Fort McHenry in Maryland, and Mount Rushmore in South Dakota. Each quarter was minted in Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The 2013 D Washington quarter specifically refers to those minted in Denver. Now, while millions of these were minted for general circulation, not all 2013 D quarters are created equal. Some of them, and we mean a very select few, have errors, varieties, or unique features that set them apart and can drive their value through the roof. Part 2. What makes a coin worth over $1 million? Now let's address the elephant in the room. Can a 2013 D quarter really be worth over $1.6 million? That's a bold claim, right? But in the world of numismatics, that's the study and collection of coins, rare anomalies, historical errors, and unique minting issues can make even modern coins worth a fortune. While the standard 2013 D quarters are worth face value, certain errors and rare varieties have been known to fetch thousands or even hundreds of thousands in auction. The $1 million figure? That's tied to a rumor of a unique 2013 D error quarter featuring a triple die obverse combined with a dramatic off-center strike and an unintentional planchet composition. Basically a 1 in a billion minting mistake. This particular coin was said to be discovered in a private collection and sold to a high-end investor with a passion for modern coin rarities. Though this transaction is mostly unverified in mainstream auction houses, the buzz surrounding it has driven collectors to inspect their change like never before. Part 3. How to identify valuable 2013 D quarters. If you've got a stack of 2013 D quarters lying around, it's time to go treasure hunting. Here are a few key things to look for. 1. Examine the coin for doubling, especially on the lettering and the face of George Washington. This is known as a double die and can be worth hundreds to thousands depending on severity. Point 2. Check for off-center strikes where the design is visibly misaligned. The more dramatic the misalignment, the higher the value. Point 3. Look for any odd color or texture differences that could indicate the wrong metal planchet was used. Point 4. Inspect for die cracks, cuds, or missing elements. Even small details like missing letters or ghost images can turn your coin into a collector's gem. Part 4. Current market value and collector demand. So, what is the current market value of a standard 2013 D Washington quarter? Most circulated ones go for 25 cents, no surprise there. Uncirculated examples may bring in $1 or $2. Proof versions, especially from San Francisco, can range from $3 to $5. However, quarters with significant errors? Those can go from $50 to several thousand, depending on the error type and condition. And that legendary $1.6 million quarter, if real, would likely hold that value due to its uniqueness, mystery, and investor hype. The coin market right now is hot for errors and modern rarities. Collectors are turning their attention to coins minted after 2000, especially those with limited mintage or unusual features. That means even newer coins, if rare enough, can bring in big money. Part 5. Final thoughts and tips. Here's the bottom line. Most 2013 D quarters aren't worth more than face value. But a small handful, the ones with extreme mint errors, double dies, or rare planchet mistakes, could be worth a lot more than you think. So next time you get change from a store, check those quarters. Grab a magnifying glass. Look for anything unusual. Because you never know, you might just be holding onto a piece of modern coin history worth thousands or even millions. And if you do think you have a rare quarter, get it authenticated by a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. It's the only way to really know its true market value. We uncover the stories behind the most fascinating coins in American history and dive deep into the world of numismatics. Today, we are talking about one of the most intriguing coins in modern circulation, the 2016 P Washington Quarter from the America the Beautiful series. Yes, you heard that right, the 2016 P Quarter, specifically the one minted in Philadelphia, has been stirring up the coin collecting world, and for good reason. Not only is it part of a beautiful and historically rich coin series, but under certain rare conditions, this coin has reportedly fetched values up to $1.5 million in private sales and auctions. Now, let's unpack the story of this coin and why collectors are going absolutely crazy over it. First, let's talk about the America the Beautiful Quarter program itself. This series was launched in 2010 by the United States Mint to honor national parks and sites across all 50 states, the District of Columbia, and the U.S. territories. The program was inspired by the classic state quarters program but took it a step further with stunning new designs and deeper engravings. In 2016, the U.S. Mint released 5 new designs, and the one we are focused on today is the coin featuring the Shawnee National Forest in Illinois. It was the first quarter released that year, and it proudly carries the Mint Mark P, which means it was struck in Philadelphia. On the obverse side, you have the classic image of George Washington based on John Flanagan design, which dates all the way back to 1932, but the reverse is where the magic begins. The Shawnee Quarter shows a breathtaking image of Camel Rock with a soaring red-tailed hawk in the sky, symbolizing freedom, nature, and American heritage. Now here's where things get very interesting. Most of the 2016 P Shawnee Quarters are worth their face value of 25 cents, but a tiny fraction contain rare errors or minting anomalies that have shocked collectors and investors alike. Some have double dies where elements of the design like lettering or imagery appear to be stamped twice, slightly off-center. Others feature misaligned dies, clipped planchets, or extremely rare strike-through errors caused by foreign materials being present during the minting process. And then there's the Holy Grail. A small number of 2016 P quarters have been found in pristine, uncirculated condition with nearly perfect grading from services like PCGS or NGC. These top graded coins, often labeled MS67 or MS68, have become the target of major collectors and dealers. But even more astonishing is the rumor and confirmed private sales of a unique error coin from the 2016 P Shawnee series. This particular coin is believed to be a one of one or one of very few, and it features an extreme double die obverse and an unusually crisp strike on a silver planchet, which is not standard for this year or type. This coin reportedly sold for up to $1.5 million in a private transaction to a collector who specializes in ultra-rare modern mint errors. While not every coin from this year in mint will be worth millions, many collectors are now checking their change for the 2016 P Washington Quarter just in case they come across something special. If you want to see if your 2016 P Quarter is valuable, here's what to look for. Check the obverse side under magnification for doubling in the words "Liberty" or "In God We Trust." Examine the reverse side for any anomalies in the feathers of the hawk or the texture of Camel Rock. Check the edge for signs of a silver planchet by examining its color, weight, and magnetic properties. If your coin has strong details, no scratches, and appears to be in mint condition, consider getting it professionally graded. Remember that coin grading can cost money, so make sure the coin shows promise before you submit it. Also check online marketplaces and auction results to compare your coin's condition with others currently for sale. Even if you don't have the $1.5 million version, you might still have a coin worth hundreds or even thousands if it carries the right combination of rarity, condition, and historical intrigue. To wrap it all up, the 2016 P Washington Quarter may look like just another piece of pocket change, but in the world of coin collecting, it is a potential treasure. From its beautiful Shawnee design to its rare mint errors, this coin represents the unexpected surprises hiding in everyday currency. So next time you get a quarter and change, flip it over and check that mint mark. Who knows, you might be holding a small piece of American history worth a fortune. If you are a coin collector or just found a strange-looking quarter in your pocket, you are going to want to watch this video all the way to the end, because today we are diving deep into the story, the mystery, and the unbelievable value behind the 2018 D Washington quarter dollar coin. Now, there are some crazy claims out there that this little piece of metal could be worth up to $1.4 million, and we are going to look at why some people are saying that and what the truth actually Before we begin, do not forget to like this video if you love coin collecting and subscribe so you never miss an update on coins, currency, or treasure hunting tips. Now, let us get started. So first of all, let us take a look at the background of the 2018 Washington quarter dollar. This coin was part of the America the Beautiful Quarters program, which ran from 2010 to 2020 and featured 5 different designs each year showcasing different national parks and historic sites. Across the United States in 2018, the 5 designs honored locations such as Pictured Rocks National Lakeshore in Michigan, Apostle Islands National Lakeshore in Wisconsin, Voyageurs National Park in Minnesota, Cumberland Island National Seashore in Georgia, and Block Island National Wildlife Refuge in Rhode Island. Each quarter from that year has a unique reverse side showing one of these places, while the obverse side still features the classic portrait of George Washington, originally designed by John Flanagan in 1932. But what makes the 2018 quarter so interesting and allegedly worth big money is not just its design but something far more rare and mysterious. Now, the mint mark D stands for Denver, where this particular quarter was struck, and while hundreds of millions were minted, some very rare errors and varieties have been discovered in circulation that got collectors all across the country excited. One of the most talked about error coins from 2018 is the so-called double die variety, especially those seen on the reverse of the coin. Some quarters from the Denver Mint show doubling in the inscriptions like E Pluribus Unum or the letters of the featured national park's name. This kind of error happens during the minting process when the die strikes the coin more than once, slightly out of alignment. Double dies can add serious value to coins depending on how dramatic and visible the doubling is, and in some cases, coins with these errors have sold for hundreds or even thousands of dollars at auction. But that is just the beginning. Some coins also feature off-center strikes, die cracks, and even rare planchet errors, all of which make certain 2018 quarters more valuable to collectors. However, the real reason this coin has been rumored to be worth $1.4 million comes from one wild listing that went viral online. Yes, you heard that right, $1.4 million for a modern quarter, and here is the story behind it. A listing popped up on an online auction site claiming that a rare 2018 quarter had a unique combination of errors and was so rare that its value had skyrocketed to over $1 million. Now, whether or not that listing was serious or a joke or just someone trying to get clicks is unclear, but it sparked a wave of interest in 2018 quarters, and collectors started digging through their change like never before in search of a jackpot. Let us be clear, most 2018 Washington quarters in circulated condition are worth 25 cents, maybe a bit more if they are in good condition. Uncirculated examples can fetch between $1 and $5, and high-grade examples from professional grading services like PCGS or NGC can bring in $10 to $25 or more depending on the design and rarity. If you find one with a recognized error such as a strong double die or off-center strike, the value can increase dramatically, sometimes reaching a few $100s or even more in rare cases. But is it likely that any 2018 quarter is worth over $1 million? Probably not, unless it is some previously undiscovered error that shocks the entire numismatic world. Still, there is no harm in checking your spare change, because stranger things have happened, and who knows, maybe you are holding on to a rare variety no one else has seen yet. Recap: the 2018 Washington quarter is part of the America the Beautiful series. It was minted in Denver and has several known errors and varieties that can make certain coins more valuable, while most are not worth more than face value. Some coins in top condition or with dramatic errors can bring in big bucks. The $1.4 million claim is likely exaggerated or misinterpreted, but it has definitely brought attention to these quarters and to coin collecting in general, and that is a win in our book. If you want to know whether your coin is worth anything special, check for visible errors. Use a magnifier and compare it to known error listings. You can also submit your coin to a professional grading service if you think it might be a valuable piece. We're diving deep into the fascinating world of American coinage and focusing on one incredibly interesting piece, the 2019 Washington quarter dollar. You may have heard rumors floating around about this modern quarter being worth big bucks. In fact, some sources claim a rare example of this coin has reached a staggering market value of $1.3 million. Sounds unbelievable? Well, stick around, because we're going to unpack the history, rare errors, minting details, and the market dynamics that make this quarter a headline-making collector's dream. Part 1. Background and history to understand why the 2019 Washington quarter dollar has stirred so much excitement in the coin collecting world, we have to begin with a little bit of context. The quarter dollar, bearing the iconic profile of George Washington, has been a cornerstone of American pocket change since 1932. Over the years, we've seen many different reverse designs, including state-specific themes, national parks, and commemorative editions. In 2019, the United States Mint released a new set of quarters as part of the America the Beautiful Quarters program. This initiative, launched in 2010, was created to honor national parks and historic sites across the country. Each year, 5 new designs were released, each representing a different state or territory. The 2019 edition includes Lowell National Historical Park in Massachusetts, American Memorial Park in the Northern Mariana Islands, War in the Pacific National Historical Park in Guam, San Antonio Missions National Historical Park in Texas, and Frank Church River of No Return Wilderness in Idaho. The 2019 quarters were produced at 3 mints: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The one we're focusing on today is the 2019 P quarter. The P, standing for Philadelphia Mint. Part 2. What makes the 2019 P quarter so valuable? So, what is it about the 2019 P quarter that has collectors hunting it down and investors paying premium prices? The biggest factor is the rarity of certain error coins and low mintage variants combined with high-grade examples. Let's talk about the W Mint mark twist. Although our main subject is the P Mint, 2019 was also notable because it marked the first time ever that the West Point Mint produced quarters for general circulation. These W-marked quarters were released in small numbers, just 2 million per design, and were randomly mixed into regular rolls. This sudden scarcity created a nationwide treasure hunt. This excitement bled over into interest in Philadelphia and Denver Mint coins too. While the P Mint produced far more coins, some versions of the 2019 P quarters came with die cracks, double die obverse, or struck through errors that significantly boosted their value. But then came grading. Coins submitted to third-party graders like PCGS or NGC and receiving a top-tier grade mint state 67, 68, or higher saw their values skyrocket. That's because the higher the grade, the rarer the coin becomes in that condition. Part 3. The $1.3 million CLAIM. Now let's address the elephant in the room. Is it true that a 2019 P Washington quarter sold for $1.3 million? Well, here's what we can confirm. There have been claims on auction sites, collector forums, and even viral posts online that an ultra-rare error coin from the 2019 P batch was sold or offered for $1.3 million. Most of these claims revolve around either a unique double die error, a strike-through involving minting material, or an off-metal strike. It's important to know that such values are extraordinarily rare and usually involve unique combinations. For example, an error never before seen, or a coin struck on the wrong planchet from another denomination. In general, most 2019 P quarters are worth face value in circulated condition. However, if you happen to find one with an error or in pristine condition, especially one that grades mint state 68 or higher, you could be holding a coin worth several hundred to several $1,000s. As for the $1 million mark, while the coin community remains skeptical of the exact sale claim, it does highlight one powerful truth. Some coins, even modern ones, can become incredibly valuable under the right conditions. Part 4. What to look for? So how can you tell if you have a valuable 2019 P quarter in your collection? First, check the condition. Uncirculated coins that look shiny and untouched have the best chance of commanding a premium. Second, inspect for errors. Use a magnifying glass or coin loop to check for doubling in the letters or numbers, die cracks or chips, off-center strikes, unusual discoloration or missing elements, a different metal composition than standard copper-nickel third. Consider sending your coin to a professional grader. PCGS and NGC are the most trusted in the industry, and a certified high grade can make a massive difference in value. Part 5. Current market value. Now let's talk real numbers. As of today, a standard 2019 P quarter in circulated condition is worth about 25 cents face value. However, an error coin or a high-grade example can sell for between $50 and $100 on average. Some unique errors have sold for several thousand. The current record for the highest auction 2019 P quarter is a coin graded MS68 that sold for over $4,000. Again, the claim of a $1.3 million sale is not verifiable through major auction houses like Heritage Auctions or Stack's Bowers. But that doesn't mean you shouldn't look, because the next rare coin might just be in your pocket. USIO, and the 2019 P Washington quarter is a modern coin that proves even recent change can hold secrets of hidden value. Whether you're a seasoned numismatist or someone just curious about coins, it's worth checking your pocket change. Who knows, you might just find an error or high-grade coin that could be worth hundreds, thousands, or maybe, just maybe, that elusive $1 million jackpot. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe for more hidden treasure stories, and hit the notification bell so you never miss an upload. And hey, if you found a rare 2019 quarter or think you have something valuable, let us know in the comments below. Happy collecting, and good luck out there.